Good morning. You're a fine little team of ponies. Yeah, we'll get through here. We'll get through here, doggies. It's an interesting mission this time because it is literally so wet. There's so much green grass about. Beautiful dams like this, everything is full. But that makes it difficult then to condense the animals down. They can be wherever they want to be. There's water everywhere. The kangaroos and that are spread out, so they're hunting hard. Not leaving as many tracks because there's so much grass. But it's a challenge we accept. This is all part of it. I better clean that mirror, eh? You can't see yourself in it to do your lipstick. We're heading into our first sets here that we put in last night, and looks pretty quiet. Pretty quiet. I think these ones might only come through here once every few days, so we'll just get ourselves prepared. There's no fresh tracks on the road. Roll down here now into the second set we put in, and I've got a feeling that this one will fire. Maybe not straight away, but I think we will get a dog here this trip. I'm letting it roll, but it's rolling slow. This vehicle's a Rolls Canardly, not Rolls Royce, a Rolls Canardly. It rolls down the hill and can hardly get up the other side. Well, at least the cattle haven't wrecked it. That's a good start. No tracks in the sand. Okay, if a trap survived first night, a lot of times it's right. It's there, the cattle won't sort of pick on it, and it'll be there when it's needed. I was going to set some traps down in this gully, but there's just simply been no sign. Checked up and down there. It's not to say there couldn't be dogs come back past here like tomorrow, but at the moment I think I'll just keep scouting. I've got the idiot box up here above me staring at us. Wondering what I'm doing. So yeah, might just move on. I'm feeling very flat at the moment. I don't know why, people. If I sound doughy, it's like, can't keep my eyes open. I missed the meal last night. I just got back too late and too tired, and grabbed a little snack and didn't have anything to eat. And I think I'm paying for it now. So if I look a bit doughy today, that's why. Need a shot of energy. Need to find some bush tucker. We'll see if we can find some burrum bush. Some burrum bush that's got fruit on it, and that'll give me a lift. Righto gang, I've decided to put one here. They've got a lot of Wagyu cattle in here now, with calves. Now I think this is the place where the dogs will be working. Well, I know they have been working here. I don't think they're necessarily walking on the tracks. It's pretty easy going over here, great water hole, but I've got cattle camping here everywhere, so it's going to be very difficult. So I thought, well, I'd come here and try and get something that'll beat these cattle, because they are inquisitive. They're great cattle, they're great doers. There's a lot going for them. Personally, I think they're about as attractive as Whoopi Goldberg. Enough said. So what I have done is I've put in a trap over here. I've gone to a fair bit of trouble. I've got magna gland up high, putting a long distance scent over here. And then I've got some bitches urine in the bottom end close. So I'm hoping that something will come into here to have a look around with the magna gland. And when they come in, then the bitches urine will get them to get a little bit closer. So hopefully now the cattle won't walk in there. Let's see what happens. They have had such a good season. I was talking to one of the landowners there before, and he said he's had his yearly rainfall up until end of January. So it's more predicted. The grass here is just, fantastic. But I can't see the rocks, I can't see the logs, I can't see the washouts. So it's restricting where I can travel. So it also restricts where I can go and have a look to see where the dogs are working. So what I'm going to do is try and get through the middle. Instead of doing loops, I'll do like one track and I'll break out and try and put some traps down one line, and then I'll go back and I'll try and get some traps somewhere else. So it'll be more of a fishbone type of a arrangement than a loop. Waylon's marking on the post over here. If the dogs are moving through, they're going to have trouble getting through this long grass too. So when they want to go somewhere in a hurry, they'll go down the track, down the road. And this is the difficult thing about selecting where to put your traps. I can put a lot of effort into that one back by the dam and might get nothing. And I'll put a lot less effort into this one at the post and might get a dog in it. But then it might work the other way. And how do you know that the same dog, he's just come this way and he gets to this trap first and gets caught, but if he'd missed this trap and got to the dam, he would have got caught there? How do you know? These are all the possibilities, the what ifs, and too many people I've seen in the past, and they, other trappers that really think that they know it all. I never say I know it all. No way by a long shot. I'm a long way off that. I'm learning every day. But a lot of these guys will say, oh yeah, I did that and that's why I caught that dog. Bullshit. Simple as that. Bullshit. You don't know for sure. There's 1,000, there's a million other possibilities. That dog that you caught at this post here, he might have come down heading towards another trap and decided to chase a wallaby or a rabbit and gone off, and then he's come back on the line at this other trap and got caught. If he hadn't seen that wallaby, he probably would have been caught up here. You don't know. You simply don't know. Righto. Well, we're going to have some hardware in this area. I've set a trap off the base of that iron bark. I've set a trap there at the end of that fallen branch to use it as a drag. And I've set one over here on the side of this little bush. That one there's got bitch's urine, mossy in season. That one's got magnum core on it, there's a long distance. This one over here has got fat on down low. So we've got one higher, one really low, one about a foot off the ground. What I'm going to do now is put the caller, I'm going to put one of the mouse callers up here, and I'm going to put the Browning trail cam over on the stump there to look right across the whole lot. So hopefully this will be a bit of an experiment. Let's just see what happens. Let's evaluate it and see what I've done wrong, what I've done right, and we can go from there, eh? Okay, we come up on top of the sandy plateau here, and there's dog tracks straight along the road here. In front of us, wallaby tracks, fish snakes go across there. Haven't seen any goanna tracks, which is good. I haven't seen any pig tracks. I always say if you can't track at 20 kilometres an hour, you're not even in the race. You've got to be able to look ahead, and the ground will just open up and tell you what has been there. Then you've got to use your imagination, and you can basically see them there. You can see what they've been doing, which way they've been going. And that's one of the reasons, like, trail cameras are fantastic. I love them. It's great that I've got some new ones now, and thanks to everybody that supported us on Patreon. I'm putting the money into those sort of things. But but they can only go a certain distance, the cameras. The rest of it you've got to be able to see and interpret yourself. And that's the art of hunting. A lot of people think they're hunters, but they're not. They're shooters. Yeah, they're missing what it really is to be a hunter. I said it was terrible humidity. Well, here comes the rain. Coming down, 100% humidity. This looks a little bit ominous. Look out, gang, we might get a wet tail up here. We don't have the roof on. There's a dog sign here. I might put a trap in here on a drag and see what happens. Well, that'll at least put the temperature down a little bit. Yeah, it'll kill the scent anyway. What are you hiding from? Well, that was a lovely little drop. Cool things down. Very refreshing. We're heading down here now to this little water hole. Hard to see the tracks after a little bit of rain. At least we'll know tomorrow if anything crosses over these tracks, because ours will be the freshest ones, the latest track. I've caught a couple of dogs in this gully here. I don't see any sign this time, but it doesn't mean a lot. Maybe there might be a day off getting back here, coming for a walk through. No sign at all. And a few cattle, a couple of vehicles. I still think it's worth a trap here, so I'll just put one, just go fishing. The butterfly might be trying to tell me something. A pretty little fella, isn't he? Now, there's a little bit of an art to using a drag. Now, I say it's an art. Let's say there's a lot of learnt experience goes into how I use a drag on a trap, and that's been trial and error. You sort of do what you think's going to work, and most times it has, but then you'll go, ooh, that's interesting, that sort of, I didn't expect that, or other things like that, where you're learning all the time and improving. Now, a drag like this one here is just a long rail, good hard rail. He had a little branch coming off about probably 2 feet from the end, so I've wrapped my chain around that and just put it in underneath the log and hooked it onto the trap and set the trap between the point of the log and the rock there. I've put a little bit of fallen branch here to sort of, make the dog either step around it or step over it. And a stepping stick there, a curved stepping stick that just suits that end of the trap. And the thought is that if a dog comes along and smells that, he could step around, step over the log. There's a good patch there for him to put his foot on. Righto, let's say catch a dog in there. Why I'm using a drag here is that there are other people using this track here. This is an access, it's not an easement or anything like that, it's just an access road through for a pipeline. And we've got also Energex and pipeline crews and whatever goes through here a couple of times a week. So I don't want a dog staked down on the side of the road here with people coming along that I don't know. Now, you could have somebody that's literally will freak out at the sight of a dog being caught here. Other guys will come here and they'll probably bludgeon it to death. Some people will be for it, other people won't be. Well, that's their business, and I'm not trying to change their minds. They can think what they want. I'm legally allowed to be here. I'm here with permission of the landowner doing my job. So I can be respectful of other people. That's my duty of care to other people as well. So I'd rather, if a dog gets caught, that it goes 10-20 metres off the road somewhere where it won't be as visible. And it'll probably end up back in the shade. If it's hot, it'll be away. Right. Now, this drag here, if you hook it in the middle of the drag, that dog's not going to go far because it's going to snag on everything straight away. If you hook it right on the very end, then sometimes you'll get a dog, especially if he's caught in the back foot, he will take that drag a long way because it'll get up in the plane behind him. So what I like to do is set it down a couple of feet from the end of the log, if I can, so that as it goes, it creates like a bit of a V. So it can probably lift it up a bit, a dog, and get it moving. But the chances are that it'll hook on a branch or it'll hook on a small bush or tussock of grass, and then once the dog starts to wrap, that's where it'll stay. So different ways. You can use heavy drags, you can use light drags. Some people, like in the US, Kurt was using ones that were just made out of Rio bar. Basically throw them down and they could snag, and they'd snag up in the bush there somewhere. All good stuff, all good stuff. I tend to like just using branches and logs and old posts and whatever that I have on the way. So anyway, that's what I've done here. Put a scat on the rock and let's see what happens. Well, this is interesting. We just got back up here to where we shot this dingo last night. We were just on the road just down here. And yeah, I get past here, I smell something, go back. And here is one of the landowner's Wagyu. He's got his head stuck between two trees and has perished. And this would have been what the dog was on. The dogs are chewed and scattered, everything, all the bones, end of the bones are chewed, scattered. Rib bones, everything's chewed. So right, this will be a good spot. They're used to being here. Cattle, by the look of it, cattle will plague it though. That's the trouble, is getting a trap that'll stay here without getting wrecked by cattle. They've been in there, the cattle have been in there last night. We might go down here and see if we can find something where we can get a bit of a guard ahead of a tree or something where we can get a trap in to slow these cattle down. Oh, there's cattle right there. Well, it's been an uneventful last couple of hours. We pulled up and had something to eat. I haven't seen a trap. I've come across the main road, Richmond Road, towards the other side of the property, and there has not been a trap. We're getting back to a place here where normally I do catch some, so let's have a look here. Nothing. Usually, if they're going to be there, you'll see, you'll come along and you'll go, yeah, there's been a bit of traffic through here. But oh, the dog tracks there. Right, the first we've seen for about 2 hours. Just one dog by the look of it. One dog down here, probably in the last 4 or 5 days. This crossing down here is one that I've caught 4 or 5 dogs at, so I think it's worth setting up a few traps. Been a pig through there, a kangaroo, emu, wallaby, oh, and big dog there. Well, good morning everyone. It's a late start this morning. It's nearly 9 o'clock and we haven't checked the trap yet. We had the transfer case jam on the little Suzuki out here, so I've had to pull the top off the box and jiggle it around until I got the selectors to sort themselves out, and we're back on the road. But anyway, you got to be a jack of all trades. What's down here, Mossy? Anything? It's quiet. No tracks on the road. Usually by this time I'm saying, yeah, we've got 10, 20 dogs here to work on. So far I've seen sign of maybe 5 to 10. Not much sign at all. It's not saying the dogs aren't here, but they might be way back up in the hills at the moment. Yeah, it's going to be interesting over the next couple of days to see just what sort of sign is here. Later on today, if I get a chance, I'll get underneath this with the McGhie and I'll weld that exhaust up. It's got a big hole in the front. I think a root of a tree has tipped over and just driven through the front of the muffler. Second set patterns, nothing. So we better do some scouting. We'll go out and check some of the right way out the back dams and see if there's any sign there. Right, what dogs have just broken a mob of pigs out of this dam. See if we can close enough for a shot. The dogs have got another one or two over here. I better get over to them quick. Off! Off! Whale and come, whale and come, whale and come. You'd think you had the biggest boar in the country, the bloody trouble you gave me. There's another one coming up behind us. Got one into it, another sow. Good dogs, good dogs. Another one. Well done. Put him up. 4 out of that mob. It's about 6 big ones and about half a dozen suckers. They did well. Good on you, dogs. Bogey, 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 bogey. Good result. Great result. I want to get a bit of a wash up myself. It's hot work.